said, welcome to today's session. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put it in the chat window, and we'll get them answered. I also have here with me Sagar Kevalramani. Sagar is our Senior BI Analyst. Hey, Sagar.
Hello, everyone. I am Sagar Kevalramani, Senior Data Analyst at CloudFronts. So hope you all are excited for this journey of BI today.
All right. So Sagar, let's go to the next slide. All right, guys. So hope everyone is able to see Sagar's screen. You should now be looking at the agenda. So today's agenda is we're going to talk a little bit about CloudFronts. We're going to talk about what is BI. I'm sure everybody has heard a lot of definitions. So hopefully today's is not going to be too long. We're going to talk about a case study of a professional services firm and how they leverage SSRS Dashboards and Power BI connecting to CRM data to run their business. Then we're just going to go through a summary of what we've discussed today and then open up the floor for Q&A. If during the session, if you have any questions, just raise your hand and we'll unmute you so you can ask those questions. All right. So that said, about CloudFronts. So CloudFronts, we started a couple of years back. I was actually working in New York for several years, and some of you on the call, actually most of you know me. We worked either on projects before or we know each other through acquaintances. But I worked in New York with several gold partners, predominantly on CRM integrations and BI, before returning back to India and starting the BI practice and CRM practice. So we focus today on 3 core practice areas: CRM, BI, and over the last few months, AX as well. And our core focus is helping small and medium companies successfully deploy Microsoft technologies in the cloud. We have a good list of clients today, and we have clients in North America. Some of you are joining us from the United States and Canada today. We have clients in Europe, and we have some clients in Australia. These are some of the verticals we've worked in: professional services, healthcare, financial services, and a little bit of the field services industry as well. And of course, as always, all consultants on our side, CRM or BI, are certified in their respective areas of expertise. So with that said, what I'm going to do next is just give you a brief outline of what we think is a good definition of BI. And we use BI, I think, every day. And as a small business, the challenges you come across trying to understand what BI means to you is always difficult. And yet getting good insights into your data is critical to run a good business today. So with that said, we feel this is a good definition. BI, business intelligence, simplifies information discovery and analysis, making it possible for decision makers like you and me at all levels of an organization to easily access, analyze, and act on information. And on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see a typical BI or business intelligence life cycle of the different phases you go through to get BI up and running. And I'm assuming most of you here are either small or medium businesses today, and all of us, we go through these challenges with regards to what we want to capture as core metrics to run our business on a daily basis. So hopefully this session is useful to all. So with that said, just jump into the next slide. And with that, I am going to hand it over to Sagar, who is going to take you through this case study and some examples. Go ahead, Sagar.
Yeah, so hello everyone. So today we will be walking through a case study of a fictitious company called CRM Associates. So they are Microsoft partner and having the core practice areas as Dynamics CRM, AX, and BI. So they heavily use Office 365 for running their internal processes or for running their business. So they even have a custom solution that's a PSM, that's Professional Service Management Solution, deployed on top of the dynamic CRM online, where they track their projects, budgets, tasks, and time entries. So we will go scenario by scenario and have a look that, okay, how the CRM associates have started leveraging the power of BI to easily retrieve the data from dynamic CRM in an easy way and in an intuitive way. So the different roles that we will walk through are project manager, Peter, vice president, VP, Steve, chief executing officer at CRM associates, Mark, and BI consultant, Sagar, that's of course me. So let's move to day one. Yeah, so scenario one, day one of my job. So project manager, Peter, calls me up and says, hey Saga, every week I'm supposed to send out the billing details to my accounting team so that they can bill the clients accordingly. So how he does this task is a complete manual process. He goes to CRM, he extracts the data using the advanced find, he searches the data over there, then he exports it to Excel. There he removes all the unwanted entries, he does the basic calculations over there, and then finally puts the complete report in a good format so that he can send it out to accounting team. So this process being a complete manual, it's a tedious, error-prone, and time-consuming task. So he spends around 4 hours in a week to generate the reports for all of his projects. So on every Friday afternoon, when all of his team members are in a relaxed mood, he's busy creating all these reports. So he said that, okay, if you can somehow help me in this scenario. So I told him that, yeah, sure, we can surely have some solution around it. So I gathered the required details from him, the required reports and all from him, and promised him that, okay, yeah, I will be back with a solution. So after working on all the reports, so come Friday afternoon, I went to him and asked him that, hey Peter, tell me which project's report that you want to generate. He said, sir, I want to generate a report for data integration GP to CRM. So I told him, okay, yep, let's go. Click it over here, select it. Then there are 3 dots over here. Okay, let's have a click. There is an option to call as run report. Okay, we click it over here. We get an option that PSM billing report. So we click on the PSM billing report, and we select the second option that says the selected records. That means that we want to generate a report out of the project that we have selected. And we click on the run report, and boom, here it goes. So yeah, here comes an SSRS report. So it complete all the required data points, all the required data to all put up in a proper format. So here you have a summary at the top, which shows the project summary. Below we have the detailed time entries entered by the different resources. We have the basic calculations already done based on the resource code and the rate and the hours. We have already cost pre-calculated. Data is already in a chronological order. On top of it, each and every column header are having an option to sort the data. So suppose if we want to sort the data on resources, we can just have a click and the data gets sorted on resources. So this is a complete the report that can be sent out to accounting team. So yeah, so how to send out this report? So to send out this report, we have an option over here to export this report. Once we click on this save button, we get the different options to save this report in different format. We have the options of saving it as PDF file. We have option of saving it as an Excel or even as in Word. So let's say if we select, we save it as an PDF, and yeah. So yeah, so once we save it, it comes out. We get the report, the complete that one we were having a review in a web browser, complete in an PDF format. So this we can just pick it up and send it out to the accounting team. So not only these features, we also have one more feature on their report that say if you want to generate the reports of the previous months. So if we have a look at the top, we have the date range filter available over here. So now suppose if we want to generate the report of previous month, say August, we just go over here, we select the starting date as 1st August, and there then here we select the date range as the last date of August and just say view report, and you get a detailed report just for the month of the August. So it will include all the entries from the month of August. So on that Friday, Peter was able to generate all his reports within matter of few clicks, and he was able to leave the office early, happily and calmly. So
I'm sure a lot of some of our customers or partners who are on the call today have seen this report actually come out of us because we are actually, we use CRM Online to run our business, and this is actually one of our billing reports that is, I think, mission critical and a lifeline of our professional services business. We couldn't survive without this billing report, and a lot of our clients would be very disappointed if we didn't send this report with our weekly or monthly invoices. So we eat it on raw food. All right, Sagar, go ahead.
Yeah, so what we just now saw was an SSRS report, and these are some of its features. The major feature which I think is it's completely integrated within Dynamics CRM, and there is no SQL Server required. So question comes when to use it. So these SSRS reports can be best used to standardize the detailed reports. So like just now we had an example of billing details report. Similarly, we can have standardized the invoices and job sheets reports in these SSRS. So yeah, so let's move to scenario 2. Yeah, so come Monday morning, Peter called me up again and said, hey Sagar, thanks for those SSRS reports. I had a good Friday. So, but still, I am a project manager and I have different resources and projects to handle. So to keep track of all things, so every day I just try to answer a few of the questions to myself. Questions like, what's my project status? Where are we in terms of completed and pending work? How are my resources spending time? How we are spending time in different projects? So currently what he does, to get answer to all these questions, he goes to different entities, does an advanced search over there, then extracts the data and compiles it to make sense to him. So he said that he spends around daily 1 hour around it to get the answer to all these questions. So he said that if you can help me out. So I told him that, yeah, surely, yeah, we can help you out over here. So we can surely help you out over here. So I gathered all his details and said him that, okay, yeah, I will be back in some time with a complete solution for it. So again, after a few days, I went to him and showed him a thing that we have developed, that's a project dashboard. And I challenged him that this single dashboard will answer all of his questions. So he said, okay, yeah, so let's give a try to it. So he said, okay, what's status of my different projects? So I told him that, okay, yeah, have a look over here. So it shows you have 4 projects in active state. One is in not started state, one is in on hold, and it looks like you have completed 5 projects in this year. So he said, yeah, correct. Then he said, okay, how we are in terms of work completed and pending. So I told him that, okay, have a look over here. So these are the list of all your active projects, and the blue bar shows the budget allocated of the budget that's been allocated for that project, and the red bar shows that actual revenue that we have already covered. So based on that, it looks like the project data integration we are about to finish, and CRM customization we are somewhere halfway around it. So he said, oh yeah, pretty impressive for that. So he next said, okay, how my different resources are spending time around it. So I told him that have a look at this chart. So these are list of all your resources that are assigned to you with their details of how they spend their last week, what they did. So it looks like Lana, she worked on CRM customizations, and half the week she worked on data integration. So even if you want to have a look at the details entry, that okay, what she on CRM data integration, what were the different tasks she performed. So if there is an option, just select it. We have a we select, and there is an option called time entry, and say go. So this will show you the different entries that Lana did against the CRM customization project. So this shows the team worked on it for 3 days with the 3 different work items. And similarly, we have a chart over here towards left. It shows that different the time that the whole team spent on the different projects, along with the along with the specifications of what time was marked as billable and what was marked as non-billable. So the red bar over here shows that the time entries which are marked as non-billable. So surely that we want to track these, Peter wanted to track these non-billables and to make sure that why they were marked as non-billable, and have a he want to have a word with this resources. So he told that okay, yeah, let me use it. So after he started using it, and after 2 to 3 days, he called me back and said, hey Sagar, that dashboard is really wonderful, and it really answers all his questions, day-to-day questions, and his day-to-day questions. So daily morning, instead of querying data in different entities and then compiling the data, he just comes over here and looks towards this dashboards and gets all his answers. So isn't it wonderful? So what we just now saw was an CRM dashboard. So it's an out-of-box visualizations available in CRM, and we can create a different visualizations having data from different entities. So you get a single view and a single view where your complete data can be summarized. So when to use it? It can be best used to visualize the simple metrics that the daily questions that we ask from CRM, or we depend on CRM, like what's the expected versus actual bars that we just now saw, how are the different project status, the opportunities that we have won and lost. So that was all about the scenario 2.
So far so good. If anybody has any questions, you can ask those questions again through the chat window, and we can unmute you for the discussion, if any. But looks good, Sagar. What's the next thing? Are we seeing more exciting stuff?
So we will be moving to scenario 3. So yeah, here we are at scenario 3. So project manager Peter, he shared his review about SSRS reports and CRM dashboard that we created for him with the vice president Steve. So Steve got pretty excited about all those things, and come Monday morning he came chasing for me and said, hey Sagar, I have a monthly report to submit to our CEO, Mark. So this report includes of a complex calculated metrics. So we keep track of these metrics as a KPI for our company, that there's a key performance indicator. And these metrics we not only calculate at the company level, we try to calculate them at the lowest level possible. Say if we want to consider a resource utilization, we try to calculate it across the company, that how is the company-wide resource utilization, how is the resource utilization across different departments, like how a BI team is doing, how a CRM team is doing, and even at the lowest level, at the how is resource utilization at a particular resource level. So currently Steve does all these things manually. He spends around 2 days in a month getting the data and then calculating all those things and putting in something good visuals for a CEO. So he said that, okay, it's an headache for me to get all these numbers, and many a times we do make some, these are quite error prone as it's a manual process. So he said that if you can help me out with this. So I surely, after reviewing all these requirements of having complex calculations and having a drill down and roll ups and all the slicing and dicing or all around the data that he wants, I tell him that out of box SSRS and CRM dashboards won't suffice to his needs. Then he said, okay, what are the other options we are having? So I said him that, okay, Microsoft has a new tool, Power BI, which is a cloud-based business intelligence tool that they have released, and it looks like it would be a perfect fit for all his requirements. So all the slicing and dicing, all the analytics capability he wants, all these would be best fitted in Power BI. So he said, okay, yeah, so we can start with a small POC, and if you can develop around 2 to 3 reports and meet me say around next week so that we can review those. So next week I went to him with the reports. Yeah, so next week I went to I next week went to him and just opened SharePoint I went to his SharePoint, and from right there I opened a report for him. So the reports that we developed the 3 reports for him, and these are in this order. So here we are in a complete SharePoint environment with the report called resource utilization. So resource utilization, it's calculated as a number of billable hours to the total capacity available. So here we have a ratio, or we have in 2014 selected over here. We have a number called 55%, which shows that resource utilization YTD. So this specifies that till date for 2014 we are having a resource utilization ratio of around 55%. Towards the left there is a line chart which is showing the resource utilization across the different months of 2014. So it helps us to have a complete trend, okay, how month by month we have been in terms of resource utilization. And it looks like currently it's September, we are having a good rate of around 59%, and in somewhere around May we were somewhere below 50%, but after there we have made a good progress. So coming to the next chart, so the chart over here shows the resource utilization across different years. So here we have the resource utilizations right from the year 2012, the year of inception. There we had a rate of 31%. Then we made a good progress towards 44% in 2013, and finally we are at in 2014 at the 55%. So even now, if you want to have a look at, okay, in 2013 we were at 44%. How we came up to this number? How was your trend across different months? So here we have an option of selecting. Just say if we select 2013, then we have a complete resource. We have a complete trend of all months of 2013, right from the month of January to December. So this was the resource utilization across the company level and across the different months, showing the trend across different months and across different years. So remember, so Steve also wanted to have a look at the resource utilization at the team level. So here we have an option called a filter called team, and it lists down all the teams that we have. So now if we say that we go and select team BI, so all the charts, just on the single click, all the charts towards left, they start adjusting themselves for the data for just for BI team. So currently it's refreshing. Usually it's quick. Yeah, but the numbers, these will automatically align themselves for say year for just for the team BI.
So this actually looks pretty good so far. We're looking at all the capabilities in Power BI, and myself being a small business owner and always worrying about key metrics and how to look at these metrics. I do always think about what metrics do I want to track, because the metrics that we track eventually will help us set up a lot of internal processes so that our teams are aligned to these metrics. And so figuring out what metrics to track is difficult, but then once you have it, it's going to define a lot of the business processes as well, and how people think about how they're evaluated or how their teams are evaluated. So it's going to eventually affect, what defines our company as we grow and keep growing our practice areas and our businesses. So the fact that we can do so much with a cloud-based BI platform like Power BI, I think it's fantastic. But I'll let Sagar continue to show you guys more.
Yeah, so finally the numbers are filtered just for the team BI. So all these charts are adjusted just to show the numbers that are related to BI team. So we have the trend, YTDs, the trends across the months, the trend across the years, and all these are just showing the trend for the BI team. So even if we want to have a look at the details at the resource level, we have an option over here, the filter called resource. If we say, and it lists down all the resources that work in team BI, and if we say just select on Sagar Keval Ramani, so again the reports adjust itself. Oh yeah, it was pretty quick this time, so usually it's quick only. So the numbers adjust themselves just to show what's the resource utilization for Sagar across the different months and across the different years. So what we just now saw was a resource utilization rate across the different compared across the different months of the of year, across the different years, different previous years, showing the YOY growth and how we have been doing. Not only that, the numbers are sliceable around for the particular teams and even for the particular resource. So we have the numbers right from the bottom level, the least level available, to the highest level possible. So the next chart, as we are already working with the resource utilization, we thought that it would be good to have a look at how our resource utilization will be around in, say, next 3 months. So we have a chart over here. So this blue bars show that the number of hours available as in capacity for next 3 months, and red bar shows that, okay, the number of already client approved work we are having. So having look at the numbers across different practices, it looks like that, okay, we are in a good shape, and we are going to have good numbers for resource utilization in coming months. And even if you have a look at the EX team, it looks like we should hire one more resource to fit in our different ad hoc needs that we have around the projects. So yeah, so coming to the next report, that's project overshoot. So project overshoot. So this is a metric where we have tried to calculate the number of extra hours that we spend on a particular project. So usually it happens that we estimate some hours for project, and we get them as an approved budget from the client. But it's always like we spend more time around, more actual time around these projects. When we are actually executing these projects, we always stand up to spend more time. So this may be because we underestimated some requirements, or maybe we did some ad hoc work for client and we didn't bill him for it. So this metric becomes quite crucial for a small to medium sized company that to have a look that, okay, where we are lacking and how we can cover up those unbilled hours. So we have a project overshoot. So the report is similar, showing the trend across different years, showing the numbers across different project managers, showing the numbers across different practices, and there is in details over here, a detailed report showing the list of different projects with their actual hours, budget, and non-billable hours that we have spent. So overall showing that, okay, how this the number came up, that how this 15% got calculated. So apart from the previous report that we saw, the only thing that unique in this is like all these bars are live over here. So say if we just click on the bar for BI team, all the numbers will get filtered automatically to get the numbers for BI team. So here it comes, we have clicked on the BI, we have say 2 projects completed for 2014, and these were their details, and this is how we came up to the good ratio of 10%. So next, the final report that we had was about related to clients. So we are all interested in clients whom we are working with, and for whom we are working the most. So currently it shows this report shows the top 5 clients and their respective revenues, and all these are sorted in descending order. So again, these bars are live bars. If we click, we get the details of that particular client only. These are, say, if we click for Geo Technologies, we have 3 projects listed over there. This is the total revenue that we have collected from Geo Technologies, and this shows that, okay, we have 3 projects for Geo Technologies. So not only these top 5, say suppose if you want to have a look at the all clients, so there is a filter called rank over here. We go and we select it, say we want it to 12, we want to see the top 12. So the report towards left adjusts itself to show the clients for all the top 12 clients. So the unique point over here is the ranking slider we had on this Power BI report. It gets a tremendous power and tremendous interactivity to end users. So after having a look at all these analytical and user interactivity options available in Power BI, Vice President Steve, he went on to implement Power BI as a central BI platform for their CRM associates.
Thank you, Sagar. So far, pretty good stuff. I'm excited that this technology works directly off of SharePoint Online or SharePoint investments that companies have already made, and you can leverage it directly from there. So I think in the next slides, you're going to talk more about really what makes the building blocks of Power BI. All right, Sagar, go ahead. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask them on the chat.
Yeah, so finally, what is Power BI? So Power BI is a new tool, you can say a Microsoft cloud-based business intelligence solutions, which they released around, say, this February. So it's a cloud-based tool which works within from Excel 2013 and Office 365. So the different tools that we have, sub-tools that we have in Excel 2013 are Power Query to discover and pull data, the Power Pivot to create the relationships between data, Power View to visualize data. So all these things, all these data, the relationship, and the visualizations, all these can be shared over Office 365. Just now, like the way we had an look at the reports that we just now saw, so those were out of box from SharePoint Online. Next there are mobile apps. You can have a look at those reports that are uploaded on SharePoint Online. All those reports can be viewed in a mobile. So currently we have an app available for Windows, and soon it's expected an iOS app will be out soon for it. So the different components that we just now saw, we will list down that what are the different features. So all these features, all these different components sum up Power BI as a complete end-to-end BI tool. So we'll start. So we have means we have a tool to discover data that's called Power Query. So it supports various number of data sources. It provides a good number of cleaning options. It helps you to create, certify, and share queries. Next is in Power BI, what we need to model the data. So there we have a Power Pivot, which helps us to model data. It helps us to create relationships between different entities. It provides a good number of analytical functions in form of DEX. So all those YTDs, YY numbers, all those were, you can say, calculated using these DEX functions. Next is the visualized data. I think I need not speak much around this. Already we saw the different charting options and different high interactivity available for end users in Power View. Along with it, there is a Power Maps that you can visualize the data along the geospatial maps. So finally, the sharing of data. So we can share all these reports on SharePoint Online. All these reports are easy to publish. Just go, it's in just matter of seconds, upload it, and it gets shared across the organizations. We can share the daily refreshes over there so that we have the live data from our source systems on our BI reports. So this sums up the complete Power BI components and its features, where you can discover the data, we can model the data, we can visualize the data, and finally we can share the reports. So overall, to have a look that what's the architecture that we use to create all those reports. So the architecture that we followed was something like this. So we have the different source systems available to the extreme left. So in our case, the CRM reports, or you can say, and some of the text files. So from all these, we clubbed the data into a single SQL server. So we created it as a central data warehouse. And this was hosted on Azure VM. It can be also hosted on on-premise. Once our data warehouse was ready, we used the out-of-box tools available in Excel. That's Power Query to pull the data, Power Pivot to model it, Power View to create different visualizations. Once this Excel book was ready, we just uploaded it on SharePoint Online, and it was ready to be shared across organization. So next it comes that, okay, already we have Power Query which can connect to CRM Online. So why there is a need of data warehouse in middle? So the only fact around it is that the Power Query, for the CRM connector that's available for Power Query, it's not currently refreshable on SharePoint Online. So the data needs to be refreshed manually. Someone needs to download it, refresh it, and then re-upload it. And apart from this constraint, what we think, there are the different advantages of having a SQL Server data warehouse in place for a company. So it can integrate the data from different sources and can serve as a single source of true data for different users across the organizations. So users need not for ad hoc reporting, so users need not go to different source systems to get the data. They will have a single point to access the data. That's your SQL data warehouse. So finally, we completed all the scenario, and these are the different technologies that we went through. So it's an SSRS reports which can be used to automate the detailed functional reports. We had a look at CRM dashboards, which are best to visualize the simple metrics, and finally which we saw the Power BI, which can serve as a robust, which can provide as a robust BI analytics for a complete organization. So saying all that, we are towards the end of our session. So any Q&As, any questions?
All right, guys. So I think we have our first question from Adolfo. Adolfo asks, Sagar, for the external data sources, are any predefined connectors available to any systems? And if not, how are they built and what tools are used? So can you answer that?
Yeah, so Power Query has many different connectors available. So it can, there is a detailed list that we will, detailed list of the different connector issues that can surely connect to CRM Online. It can connect to SharePoint Online list. It can connect to Hadoop. It can connect to all the Azure data sources. And apart from that, if there are no connectors available, we can surely go with the option of the data warehouse, of having the data warehouse. So we have different tools to get the data from these resources into our data warehouse. And this data warehouse can be used as a source for these Power BI reports.
Right. This was the session from today. If you guys have more questions, I think some more questions are coming in. Nope, I think it looks good. So as a sort of the next round to this particular session, we do have upcoming webinars which are to be scheduled, which will have more deep dive into Power BI, and two separate sessions, a deep dive into Power BI and then a deep dive into CRM reports, Fetch XML, the fun stuff, and dashboards, customizing dashboards using Form XML. Also, you will see information in this slide deck, which we will be sharing with everyone. We're putting it online, either on SlideShare or on our website.